Once upon a time, in a bustling city, there was a solicitor by the name of Mr. Rustem doesn't guard them. He was a crafty man who knew how to manipulate his clients and the law to his own advantage. He would often charge exorbitant fees, even for simple cases, and his clients would pay without question, thinking they were getting a top-tier legal service. One day, a young couple were poached by Mr. Rustem doesn't guard them's office saying they could help their case. They said that their current solicitor was rubbish and could not be trusted. The couple had been wrongfully arrested for theft and fraud, and they didn't know where to turn. Mr. Rustem doesn't guard them, listened to their story and promised to help them win their case. But there was a catch. Mr. Rustem doesn't guard them, told the couple that they would need to pay an additional fee for him to dress up their case. He told them that he had a special legal technique that involved using complex legal jargon and fancy legal maneuvers that would make their case unbeatable. The couple, desperate for justice, agreed to pay the fee. As the case progressed, Mr. Rustem doesn't guard them's legal tactics became more and more convoluted, confusing the judge and the opposing counsel. The couple, however, was impressed. They thought Mr. Rustem doesn't guard them was a legal genius. But in reality, Mr. Rustem doesn't guard them was simply using smoke and mirrors to deceive his clients. His legal arguments were empty and baseless, and he had no real legal grounds to stand on. But the couple were so convinced of his legal prowess that they didn't question him. Finally, on the day of the trial, Mr. Rustem doesn't guard them appeared before the judge dressed in an expensive suit and tie. He used his polished language to argue the case, making it seem like he was winning. The couple looked on, thinking they had made the right choice in hiring Mr. Rustem doesn't guard them. But then the opposing counsel exposed Mr. Rustem doesn't guard them's legal tactics as nothing more than empty words and deceitful maneuvers. The judge was appalled and ordered Mr. Rustem doesn't guard them to pay the couple back their fees. As Mr. Rustem doesn't guard them left the courtroom, he realized that he had been caught in his own trap. He had been so focused on convincing his clients of his legal prowess that he had lost sight of what was truly important, justice. From that day forward, he vowed to be a better solicitor, one who prioritized his clients' needs over his own ego, but his promises didn't last long. Months later, an investigation was launched into Mr. Rustem doesn't guard them illegal behavior, and it was discovered that he had been overcharging his clients for years. He had also been using deceitful means to win cases and had even stolen money from the public purse. The judge who oversaw the investigation was appalled by Mr. Rustem doesn't guard them actions and sentenced him to a long prison term. As Mr. Rustem doesn't guard them sat in his cell, he thought about all the harm he had caused to innocent people. He realized that his greed and ego had blinded him, and he had lost sight of the true purpose of the law, to serve justice. He vowed to spend his time in prison reflecting on his mistakes and making amends to his victims. The young couple who had fallen victim to Mr. Rustem doesn't guard them deceit were relieved that justice had been served. They hoped that this would serve as a warning to other solicitors who put their own interests ahead of their clients. From that day forward, they were more careful about who they hired to represent them and made sure to do their research before putting their trust in a solicitor again.